and these are the two guard cell which are we are seen under the electronic microscope. Then secondly, we study what is the distribution of stomata. So distribution of stomata means that in the figure we see that the stomata, they are present on the upper epidermis and lower epidermis. Okay, so on the basis of that, there are different types of stomata on the basis of their distribution on upper and lower. So maximum they are present on the lower surface, but in some of the species they are present on the upper surface also, or in some of the species they are present equally on upper and lower. In some of the species they are present maximum on the lower, and in some of the species they are maximum on the upper and lower on the lower surface. So accordingly there are different of types of stomata on the basis of their distribution on upper and lower surface. So here I am this side I am giving the type, and here the that is the upper and lower. So this cross sign indicate that the absence of stomata on upper, and lower side on that right sign indicate that they are present on the lower surface. So uh, when the stomata distribution on upper surface is totally absent and on lower surface they are present, then this type of distribution is called as apple type of stomata, and they are present in the peach and apple. Then second, that is potato type. So here there is a presence of stomata on upper surface, but as compared to upper surface, maximum they are on the lower surface. So they are called as a potato type. The example is tomato and bean. Then third type is oat type. So there is equal distribution of stomata, means on this upper surface the and lower surface, both they are equally distributed. The example is wheat and barley. Then third type, that is the water lily. So the stomata, they are present on the upper epidermis, and on lower epidermis there is totally absence of stomata. So particularly this water lily type, they are present in the water lily and different other hydrophytes. And the fifth type, that is the potamogeton type of stomata. So in this type of stomata, the stomata, they are absent on the upper and lower surface. Okay, so because they are this particularly this type of stomata, they are present in the hydrophytes, and these hydrophytes, they are submerged, means whatever the leaf, they are totally they are in the water. So that's why it is called as a submerged hydrophytes. Okay, so in this type of, there is a no existence of stomata. If they are exist but they are not functional, such type of stomata is called as sunken stomata. Okay, sunken means that is no any function from this stomata. Stomata is there but they are not doing any function, so it is called as sunken stomata. sunken sunken stomata. Okay, then there are different theories which are associated with the stomatal movement. So stomatal movement means that is the opening and closing of stomata. Okay, when stomata is open and when they are closed. So we understand the that is the when guard cell is turgid, then stomata is open, and when guard cell is flaccid, stomata become closed. But when this guard cell become turgid and when they are flaccid, so there are different theories proposed by the scientists in order to explain this opening and closing of stomata. Okay, so there are three important theories which are associated with this stomatal movement. So first hypothesis is given by the scientist, that is photosynthesis production in the guard cell, that is von Moll in 1856. And second hypothesis, that is starch sugar hypothesis by J.D. Sayer in 1926, and Small and Clark 1942. And third type of hypothesis is this is called as a maltose hypothesis or potassium ion exchange hypothesis. So these are the three important hypotheses which are given by the different scientists in order to explain the mechanism of opening and closing of stomata. So as per this hypothesis, the main principle behind this hypothesis, that because of the photosynthesis in the guard cell. So because of synthesis of sugar in the guard cell, the concentration of guard cell is increased. Okay, so you know that in the diffusion and osmosis, we study that when there is some any solute which are added into a water, the concentration of that water is increases. So likewise, when the sugar is synthesized in the plant cell, so it increases the concentration of that cell, and due to increase in concentration of this cell, the whatever the water which are present in the subsequent cell or in the nearby that cell, so there is a difference between the concentration of these two cells. Okay, and water is moved from that is the low concentration to high concentration of water. Okay, low concentration to high concentration of solution. Okay, so low concentration of solution means that the that particular cell, they are containing the water but they are not having any synthesis of sugar. Okay, so that is we call as a, that is the low concentrated but high concentration of water. And in case of the that guard cell, the guard cell become in high concentration of sugar because the photosynthesis is occurs in that guard cell. Okay, and therefore water is moved from that is the that subsequent cell to guard cell. Okay, because of the osmosis process, and we know that because of movement of water from that subsequent cell or that subsidiary cell to guard cell, so guard cell become turgid. Okay, so because of synthesis of sugar in the guard cell, the concentration of guard cell is increases, and which leads to movement of water from that subsidiary cell to guard cell, and guard cell become turgid. And due to turgidity of that guard cell, stomata is open. Okay, so as per this hypothesis, and they explain that how this guard cell become closed. They explain that at the night or when there is a no any presence of light, so during dark period or during night, so photosynthesis never occur in the that guard cell. So because of this never occurring occurrence of the photosynthesis, the concentration of guard cell is decreases, and due to decrease in concentration of guard cell, the water is moves from that guard cell into the subsidiary cell, and because of this movement, the guard cell become the flaccid. Okay, so this hypothesis explain that because of the difference in concentration of the guard cell become turgid and guard cell become flaccid. So this hypothesis is called as a photosynthesis production in the guard cell. But there are some objections on this hypothesis. That is, the first objection is that the whatever the sugar or whatever the photosynthesis which are occurs in a gas cell is not having much magnitude, or there is no any significant photosynthesis they are occurs in gas cell. Okay, or whatever the chloroplasts which are present in the guard cell, they are not become much active to synthesize a sugar. Okay, so that's why increasing concentration is not they are explained by the scientists. So that's why this hypothesis is not accepted. And then the second hypothesis is that is proposed, that is this starch sugar hypothesis. So this hypothesis also is based on the same, but this explain the how the they are occurs in a guard cell. So as per this hypothesis, there is already there is a presence of starch molecules inside this guard cell because of the presence of chloroplast. And during the period of day, so this starch is become converted into a glucose 6 phosphate. Okay, so this starch is converted into a glucose 6 phosphate with by use of inorganic phosphate. So when there is a conversion of the starch into a glucose 1 phosphate, so there is a this starch, they are there is an increase in the pH of this guard cell, and due to increase in the pH of the guard cell become turgid and increase in concentration. So there is entry of water inside the guard cell and guard cell become open. And when there is a during a that is once this glucose 6 phosphate which are deposited in the guard cell, so in during the night period, this glucose 6 phosphate is closely converted into a starch. So due to this conversion into a starch, the acidity of guard cell become increases. There is a decrease in pH, and the guard cell become flaccid. So this is a starch sugar hypothesis. And this hypothesis is not as such they are explain the how this mechanism or how the starch they become how the starch they are synthesized in the guard cell, or how they are converted into a glucose 6 phosphate, or what is the role of this phosphorylase. They are not explained by the scientists, so that's why this hypothesis is not accepted as such. Then the third hypothesis is given, that is the potassium ion exchange hypothesis. So this exchange is explained that there is exchange of potassium ion with the hydrogen ion. So this with this exchange of potassium ion with the hydrogen ion, they are explained the because of this exchange between this our solution outer cell and the that guard cell. So this exchange is responsible for to open and closing of stomata. So in the next slide we see the explanation on this third hypothesis. So here there is a in figure we clearly understand what is the steps and events which are occurs when there is stomata is open. So this first event, that is the because of presence of light, the photosynthesis occurs in guard cell. Okay. Then second event, that there is a uh, in the light there is a decrease in concentration of carbon dioxide in the that guard cell. Then sorry, this carbon dioxide concentration is pH of this guard cell is increased because of this conversion of that is the starch into the glucose 6 phosphate, and the conversion of sugar there occurs in the fourth step. Then because of this conversion the cell sap concentration is increased, and due to increase in the concentration of cell sap there is a process of endosmosis occurs. Endosmosis in that entry of water from that substrate cell to guard cell, and due to this there is an increase in turgor pressure of guard cell and stomata is open. So here there is a stomata is open. So this activity means this particularly 7 events leads to opening of stomata. But at the night or in the dark period, the when there is absence of light, so there is a decrease in the rate of photosynthesis, and there is an increase in concentration of carbon dioxide, because the maximum carbon dioxide they are entered during the night into the plant cell. So there is an increase in concentration of the carbon dioxide. Then there is a decrease in pH. Why there is a decrease in pH? Because the whatever the glucose 6 phosphate which are synthesized during light, so they are slowly converted into a starch. So that's why there is a decrease in the pH, so they are more become acidic. Then conversion of sugar into a starch, then decrease in cell sap concentration. So because of formation of acid there is a decrease in concentration of cell sap. There is a exosmosis occurs, means that whatever the water which are present in the guard cell they are moves into the substrate of the cell, and that's why these guard cell become flaccid, and the whatever the pressure because of the which are developed because of the entry of water into the guard cell, that is we call as a turgor pressure, they are decreased and stomata become closed. Okay. So opening and closing of stomata they are depend upon these different events, and these different events is they are hypothesized in the first two, that is the uh, photosynthesis in guard cell and the starch sugar interconversion. So this figure indicate that what is the actual mechanisms they are occurs during the opening and closing of stomata. So this is the figure indicate that the how this opening and closing of stomata they are occurs in a plant. So maximum there is a during night period there is a maximum stomata they are closed, and during evening they are start to close. Morning they are widely open, and at the noon, that is in between the 12 to 1, somehow there is a that is the size of that central stoma is somehow they are decrease in that somehow they are reduce their size. Because of that is called as a midday closure. Midday closure means that because of this high light intensity somehow the stomata they are closed sometimes, and then they are opened. So that's why in between this period, that is 12 to 1, so there is a somehow there is a rate of transpiration is less, or stomata becomes somehow they are inactive during this period, but later on there is a wide opening of the stomata. Then this is the hypothesis, third hypothesis, that is active potassium ion transport theory. So in this particularly when there is a presence of light, so there is a malic acid they are synthesized in the that guard cell. So and this malic acid they are with the hydrogen ion they are present. So this hydrogen they are exchanged with the potassium ion. So this potassium ion they are hydrogen is excited and potassium they are uh, enter into the guard cell, and there is a formation of potassium malate, and these potassium malates they are in the vacuums they increase the turgor pressure, and due to this turgor pressure there is increase in turgor pressure, the stomata is open. So likewise the same event there occurs in the reverse, that is the potassium ion they are moves outside the guard cell, and there is entry of entry of the hydrogen ion inside the cell, and due to this there is a decrease in that is the concentration of this potassium malate, and the there is a decrease in turgor pressure and the stomata become closed. Okay, so this particularly hypothesis is explain the mechanism of the opening and closing more clearly. So somewhat this theory or hypothesis is accepted in order to explain the mechanism of opening and closing of stomata. Okay, so this is about the mechanism of opening and closing of stomata. So in this next part of this lecture, so today we stop here. So in the next lecture we discuss about the another part of this transpiration, that is the what is the role of abscisic acid in stomatal closing, and also the what are the different factors which affect the rate of absorption or rate of transpiration, and what is the meaning of anti-transparent, and what is the uh, meaning of guttation. Guttation means that the loss of water in the form of water droplet. Okay. So up to this today, lastly I am some of these today's lectures. How what is the part we completed in today's lecture. So firstly we see the what is the definition of transpiration, then what are the different types of transpiration, then the what is the structure of stomata, then what is the distribution of stomata on upper epidermis and lower epidermis, and we also discuss the what is the mechanism of opening and closing of stomata, in which firstly we discuss the that is the first mechanism, that is photosynthesis in the guard cell, secondly starch sugar interconversion, and third that is the active potassium ion transport theory. So these are the total part we cover in our today's lecture. In the next part we study the remaining part, that is anti-transparent, factors of transpiration, and guttation. Okay, so any one of you have any difficulty, so you may can ask, or you can also